this thing can do some things that a Mamba just can't even dream of doing, because it's just got that much extra horsepower on board.
I got something to say, something to say.
Hey everybody, rhouse21 here, and welcome to another episode of RC Physics. For those of you new to the channel, RC Physics is a channel dedicated to the science and technology behind our favorite RC hobbies. This is a cool episode because I've had the opportunity to share with you the debut of the brand new Castle Cobra 10 ESC. So those of you who watch my channel know that it wasn't that long ago that I also shared the introduction of this guy, the Castle Cobra 8. So the Cobra 10 and the Cobra 8 represent the newest generation of Castle ESCs. So basically all of the same goodness that was in the Cobra 8 right here has been shrunk down to this nice 10 scale package. But wait, there's more. Because guys who drive 10 scale cars typically do different things than guys who drive 8 scales, like hardcore crawling. And Castle has literally taken everything that they poured into the Cobra 8 here and put it into here, plus all of the tweaks and just modifications necessary in order for this to be an awesome hardcore crawler ESC. Now, some of you guys might say, but our house, Castle already has some awesome hardcore crawler ESCs, like the Mamba X right here. And that is true, but this guy does it and then some, and even more. And part of that is because of the new architecture. So Castle has effectively come up with a new processor architecture for these new ESCs. That gives them much more processing horsepower, it gives them much more memory, and a much broader range of capabilities that they can bring to the market. These are basically software-defined ESCs. And I'm going to get technical here for a second, but there's been a revolution in the processing, computing, and electronics industry in the past few years, where you've just been able to get so much horsepower in such a small package that you could do things in software that you could never do before. So Castle's new platform allows them to fully take advantage of the cool hardware that they've been producing for generations and take it to the next level. So new features like cryo drive, where they're able to give more power with less waste heat, and combining that with some really cool software innovations that they're producing to let you really customize this ESC, and a couple brand new features that definitely will help the crawler guys, but it's not going to leave out the rest of the community, because I'm not a crawler guy. I'm a speed runner slash just basher, and this ESC definitely does not disappoint me at all either. So let's go ahead and dig into it. So the first thing that you're going to notice about this is the fact that this is a fully aluminum construction package. That has a couple of advantages. Number one, I mean, it adds to the premium feel of this thing. I mean, it feels solid. But aluminum is a very good dissipator of heat. So the fact that all the electronics are encased in this really good heat dissipating architecture is just going to help to keep this cool inherently. But you also have a fan, which has been standard for Castles for a while. And the nice thing that they've done in the recent ESCs is the fan is powered directly from the ESC itself through the cable harness right here, so that you don't have to worry about, like with the Copperhead here, where you actually have to take an auxiliary power port in order to power the fan. So now you will see that I've got a lot of ESCs out here. So why? So this is just to illustrate the fact that Castle has kind of taken an interesting approach to their ESCs. It's kind of different from a lot of their competitors. You know, a lot of the other companies out there kind of give you a one-size-fits-all, one ESC to do every single job. Castle, you know, they want to give the user community an opportunity to have a good, better, best approach to how you select your ESCs. I mean, a great example is on the 10 scale side, you have the Sidewinder 3. This guy has been produced forever, and there's no sign of them discontinuing anytime soon, just because it is so loved and such an effective package. However, If you need something that's a little bit more durable or something that's got a little bit more capacity, there's a Sidewinder 4, which I have one, but I didn't pull it out of the car that it's in right now. But that gives you the same packaging, the same size, you know, the same utility as the Sidewinder 3, but with cryo drive, so it runs cooler and it's a little bit more durable package. If you need to go something that can handle more cells for more power application, you have the Cobra head here. Again, a temp scale, also has sensored operation, so it allows you to do hardcore crawling and that sort of thing. But if you need even more power or more features, you also have the Mamba X, which, you know, gives you up to 6 cell operation. Copperhead only goes up to 4 cells, but this allows you to do 6 cell operation in the 10 scale package. So it opens up the doors to a wide variety of potential applications. And the Cobra 10 just builds on top of that. So everything that the Mamba X can do, this can do better. And it's only $10 more. So, and I mean, there's a substantial feel difference between these two. I mean, the Mamba X has been my go-to 10 scale ESC for years. I absolutely adore this thing. But from a just punch to punch, the Cobra is able to keep up everything that the Mamba X can do, the Cobra can do. So I have complete parity. But the nice thing about this is just those additional features that I was alluding to. So everything that this thing can do, this thing can do. But the cool thing that differentiates the Cobra architecture is the software. So as of right now, the Castle has introduced a couple of new features. One is hill hold, and that's something that's specifically tuned towards the rock crawler community. It gives the ESC the ability to hold the position, basically to have a dynamic drag brake, so that whatever incline that the vehicle is on, if you have a 0 throttle input, it will hold position and it will just keep the vehicle there. And that is really cool for those who are moving around heavy rigs off-road and they need to stop, they need to plan their lines and everything, and they don't want to have to deal with trying to have just the right amount of throttle on board to keep it from sliding down the hill. That's a really cool feature. They also have the Rock Racer Crawler switchable mode for the auxiliary channel to allow you to drastically change the performance of the vehicle with a flip of a button for your multi-channel radios. So let me go ahead and jump into the software and give you a quick run through of some of the new features in software. So I am connecting through the Castle Link 2.0 connector right here. I've recently discovered that I can also use the older generation Castle Link 1.0 adapters. My Castle programming card here. I'm able to use that to connect to the ESC as well. I haven't tried changing the parameters on the fly with this programming card quite yet, but I can use it for Castle Link programming. So let me go ahead and plug this guy in. All right, and you'll see that I am now connected with Cobra 10 interface. Now, this is still the same basic software setup that you've seen on the Cobra 8, so I'm not going to go a full detail walkthrough. If you want to see a full detail walkthrough of the software, go ahead to the video I'm linking here. This is the Cobra 8 deep dive and intro. So most of the things that you'll see in here are basically the same. And actually, I think they're coming up with a new software release coinciding with the launch here, so that the Cobra 10 and 8 will have the same software. But when you go down through, like, most of these things are pretty much the same. Where you start to get into differences are going into the advanced mode here. So you have the Rock Racer Crawler mode, which I alluded to before. You've also got max power, reverse percentage. Actually, I think most of these are common, but the new introduction right here is this hill hold mode. So let's go ahead and get in the sample screen here. So this basically tells you all the functions. This is essentially a dynamic drag brake. So where you are, it will hold it in position. The downside with using this, though, is that if you've got a really heavy vehicle and a really heavy incline, it can actually burn a lot of power in order to keep the vehicle stable. So you want to be careful about how you use it. Observe your data logs, look at your temperatures, make sure that you're not overstressing your motor, because you can actually cause yourself to get a thermal shutdown if you have a car that's, let's say, lightly geared, and it puts a lot of stress on the motor in order to hold in position. A lot of crawler guys have everything geared so that you're pretty limiting the load on the motor. So use it with discretion, see if it works for your application. But if you have your car geared properly with the right level of cooling, this could be a game changer to how you use your rigs. Okay. Other than that, you know, let's say everything's the same. You've got all your motor controls. You have the ability to change your motor timing with the cheat modes. You have the advanced data logging, the same capabilities that you saw on the Cobra 8, and ability to tune your throttle curves and reverse curves. So it's a really solid unit. And also the adjustable ESC, going all the way from 5 volts up to 8 volts. So for those of you guys who like to run a lot of high-powered accessories, or if you have a really high-powered servo that you need to feed that hungry guy, then this will give you plenty of capacity to do that. This vehicle will run the same size categories as the Mamba X, so I'll go ahead and just put a screenshot of that in there showing those capabilities. So it has the same overall capabilities as the Mamba X from a current capacity and weight category standpoint. But again, the reason why you're stepping up into the Cobra 10 is for the future proofing, because as of right now, I mentioned Castle has a good, better, best philosophy with their ESCs, but you see, especially on the 10th scale, you've got good, gooder, better, so there's a wide range that you can pick from. So you can pretty much pick the ESC that is the exact match to what you want to do. And the reason why Castle's able to do that is because, quite frankly, there's a demand for the products. If there was not a demand, then a lot of these other products would have been phased out by now. So, and the same's carried through like on their 8th scale, because you've got the Cobra 8, but you've got the Mamba X 8S. This is technically not an 8th scale ESC, it's a 6th scale ESC, but you've got people who are using this in 8th scale applications, but they're still selling the venerable Mamba Monster X. They're still selling these models side by side because there's a demand for these models. So as long as folks who like the Mamba X continue to buy the Mamba X, Castle will probably continue to offer the Mamba X. But the advanced electronics inside of the Cobra architecture, such as the accelerometers, enable the possibility to have more advanced driver modes or just capabilities that just aren't available for the Mamba series. So we're going to see that coming through here. Castle's had a lot in works with their new software. So as of right now, as I was saying, there really is sort of a parity between the Mamba X and the Cobra 10 from most guys' day-to-day use of their rigs, but just give them a little bit of time and the Cobra architecture will definitely start to differentiate itself. This thing can do some things that a Mamba just can't even dream of doing because it's just got that much extra horsepower on board. But to that line, if you have some advanced features or some capabilities that you would like to see, reach out to Castle. Let them know. Let them know how you use your rigs and what types of things would be good additions to them. I've shared my input to them. I don't want to share them in this video because I don't necessarily want to give the competition a chance to try to scoop them and get them to market first. But I don't think that's really an issue because I don't think there's anything else on the market that has quite the processing power and the software behind it like Castle does. So, all right, guys, this has gone on long enough. This is a really exciting product, so check it out. There's links in the description that go to the Castle website, so you'll be able to go there, see the pricing. I believe it's only $5 or $10 more than the Mamba X, at least at time of release. So it's going to be very aggressively priced, and it brings a lot more to the table. So it makes something that was already great even greater. So that kind of blows the good, better, best, greatest. I'm not even going to try. I'm not a marketing guy, but this is a definitely a solid product that you guys should have on your radar screen. All right, guys, our House 21 signing out. Remember the mantra: fly, fix, fly. Break it, fix it, do it all over again. Then don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and all my social medias out there. And you're going to see this in vehicles, bashing and thrashing and doing all sorts of cool things. So stay tuned. You're going to see me put this guy really through his paces. And, you know, but just know that even if you don't need this guy, Castle still has this guy and this guy and this guy ready to take care of your 10 scale needs. Oh, and the Sidewinder 4, which I really should have pulled it out of the other car. All right, guys, our House 21 signing out. Peace.